Hi, this recording is specifically for existing clients of Prism to understand a little bit more detail about their new pricing model. We are actually going back to something that we started when we first launched Prism back in 2020, but I thought there would be a benefit to providing a little more explanation of what we're doing now. This is a PDF that I can make available to anybody as well. So when we first left Morgan Stanley and started Prism, the idea was to separate our financial planning services and fees from the investment management fees. The reason for that is they're two different things, and we can deliver the appropriate level of financial planning services to you and charge appropriately for it, and then have the investment management separate. One of the examples that I used to use was that if we were managing $1 million for you and you had another $1 million someplace else, and we incorporated that information into your financial planning process, and then later you decided to move that other million to us, so the amount of money we're managing doubled, that did not double necessarily the complexity of your financial planning situation. With an all-in-one fee, the danger is that you end up doubling your fees, even though your financial planning complexity hasn't doubled. So we wanted to address that potential conflict and separate out the fees based upon what we're delivering to you on an individual basis. So we're really just going back to providing comprehensive financial services, but pricing them in a more appropriate way. So we really are dividing our services into two different categories: advice services and investment management services. Now, we can provide advice services in different ways. Our core, obviously, is a full financial plan. And this would be for a new relationship that is typically a 4 to 6 month collaborative process. And it is priced based upon the complexity and the scope of it and what we are doing for you. But in addition to doing full financial planning, we also can provide different levels of advice based upon what your needs are. That could include coaching, which are some ongoing calls monthly, every other month, consulting, which is a very specific project based. We are adding the ability to provide estate planning services, which can include reviewing your existing plans, as well as assisting with documents under certain circumstances. And then for clients who have been with us and already completed an initial planning process, ongoing advice. And ongoing advice is less expensive than doing a full financial plan. And it's what you transition to after we've done the full financial planning process. Every year, we will decide together what we're going to focus on in the coming year, and that ongoing fee will adjust accordingly. So at different points in your engagement, there are a variety of things that we can talk about, right? And you all know this, from cash flow, debt management, budgeting, risk management, investment analysis, and so forth. One of the things that we're distinguishing between now is one of our advice services that we are offering and charging separately for is advising on assets that are not with us, and that we do not control and actively manage. Now, as part of a financial planning type of engagement, we can provide and will provide high level asset allocation type recommendations. So, for example, we might say that based upon our work with you on your financial plan, we think your 401k should be allocated certain percentage between stocks and bonds, and some of this percentage of US stocks and non-US stocks, and so forth. That would be included. If we wanted to go beyond that, and you wanted to have us look in more depth and perhaps even link the account for visibility, where we would look at the individual investments in that 401k and do that on an ongoing basis, and then provide you specific advice about which investments, we can now do that. We charge a lower fee for that than for money we're managing, but we can actually do that and articulate that in our engagement. That's investment advice service. An investment management service is the money we are actually managing on your behalf. It's with our custodian, and we have discretion over those accounts. We are going to continue to offer a combined offering because it is relevant and appropriate for some people, and that's called wealth management, right? So we've got advice services, we've got investment management services, and then we've got wealth management services, which is a combination of some advice service and investment management in one package. So we have a schedule here. And again, we can provide a copy of this to anybody. Any fees can be paid by invoice or deducted from your account. If you're paying by invoice, you can write a check. We have a billing platform service called Advice Pay, where you can pay by Zelle and ACH debit. You can pay fees by credit card, although we do have to add a 3% processing fee for any kind of credit card charges. Um, our fees on investment management and wealth management are changing a little bit. Um, again, the fee for investment management is based upon how much money is under our management. These fees are lower than what you've seen in the past. And then a comprehensive fee, which would include both the advice and the investment management services. So these are just a couple of examples of depending upon a circumstance, and these would be based upon a new client, not an ongoing client. So they're less directly relevant for you right now, but it just gives you an idea of how we might approach this. These are examples. These are not offers of specific agreements and specific fees for specific clients in specific circumstances, but it gives you a general idea of how we would approach the process for a new client of determining what an appropriate financial planning fee would be. The most important thing to us is that we continue to focus on collaborating with you, with our clients. We want this to work in such a way that you have clarity on what services we are providing, on how we are charging for those services, what you can expect, and we're going to continue to make sure that we check in with you to see that we are delivering on what you need us to deliver on, and make changes as appropriate. Um, when we talk to people about this, we always say, let's have a conversation, right? We don't expect anybody to read something like this and make a decision. We want to have a consultation. If you have any other questions on the new fee structure, and again, this material is all in your packets, just reach out to me. I'm happy to set up some time to talk. Thanks for your time. We look forward to working with you for a long time to come.